Xi secretly visits Tibet, first trip by a China president in 3 decades. In a development that raised eyebrows across the world, Chinese President Xi Jinping made an unannounced visit to Tibet this week, including to Nyingsi located close to Arunachal Pradesh. This was Xi's first visit to Tibet since taking over as president in 2013. According to Xinhua news agency, the president visited the Tibet Autonomous Region in connection with the 70th century of Tibet's peaceful liberation of the first time in the history of the party and the country. During his visit to Xi stressed the need for fully implementing the guidelines of the Chinese Communist Party for governing Tibet in a new era and writing a new chapter of lasting stability and high quality development for the Plateau region, the report said. The visit was kept under wraps by China's official media till the end of the trip on Friday. Ningxing is also where China is constructing a massive dam on the Brahmaputra River. The visit comes amid border tensions with India and at a time when China is said to be suppressing local culture by promoting education in the Chinese language and also slowly taking control of Buddhist monasteries. Chinese leaders periodically visit Tibet, but Xi is perhaps the first top leader in recent years to visit Tibet's border town. He visited Tibet as vice president in 2011. Xi's Tibet trip and a troubling message amid border row with India. All regions and people of all ethnicities in Tibet will march towards a happy life in future. Xi Jinping tells a crowd in one video of his visit. I am full of confidence as you all are. Lastly, I will not delay your dancing. Let me say this. I wish everyone a happy life and a good health. Xi Jinping pledged to bolster construction along Tibet Himalayas frontier as the Chinese president reaffirmed Beijing's control in his first official trip to the border region. Xi called on ethnic Tibetans and other minority groups Friday to help defend the country in a visit timed to mark the 70th anniversary of the Communist Party's control over the area. According to the official Xinhua news agency, the trip, which includes a stop in the Chinese military hub of Niangtri, comes as tensions simmer along the country's contested border with India amid claims by both sides of aggressive troop movements and infrastructure building. His message will be especially troubling for India, said Robert Barnett, a British academic who has written about Tibet as he posted videos showing the Chinese leader speaking to locals. Barnett said Xi's trip suggests that he places the border struggle with India close to the very top of China's national agenda. The People's Republic of China this year marked the 100th anniversary of its founding as well as the 7th decade of control over Tibet. The push into the region in 1951 was part of a broader effort by Mao Zedong's communists to consolidate control over territory historically claimed by China before decades of colonialism, war, and internal strife. Riots erupted in the Tibetan capital of Lhasa in 2008 over the allegations of religious oppression, leaving at least a dozen dead. A spate of self-immolations by ethnic Tibetans followed a few years later. Xi arrived in the regional capital Lhasa on Thursday, accompanied by entourage including Vice Premier Li Hu, China's economic Cesar, and Sang Yo, vice chairman of the country's top military body, while Xi urged respect for Tibetan culture, visiting a monastery and using local greetings. He emphasizes the ethnic assimilation policies that have drawn international criticism, calling for officials to promote ethnic harmony and to actively guide Tibetan Buddhism to adapt a socialistic society. All regions and people of all ethnicities in Tibet will march towards a happy life in future. Xi tells a crowd in one video of his visit. I am of full confidence as you all are. Lastly, I will not delay your dancing. Let me say this. I wish everyone a happy life and a good health. Thus, Dalek, he added using a phrase wishing a good fortune. Both China and India have bolstered military forces along their contested frontier after deadliest fighting in decades last year, while New Delhi redirecting at least 50,000 extra troops to the border. Earlier this month, Foreign Ministry Subramaniam Jaishankar and his Chinese counterpart Wang Yi agreed to continue discussions over the border standout. China will strengthen infrastructure construction along the border and encourage people of various minorities to set their roots at the border, to defend the territory and to build the homeland, Xi said, according to Xinhua. China has faced criticism for its policies in Tibet, which has been subject to intense social security and religious controls, much like its northern neighbor Xinjiang. In September last year, prominent Xing researchers Adrian Cheng released a report alleging that Beijing was instituting a mass labor system in Tibet similar to the one that has ensnared Muslim Uyghurs. Tibet Governor L. Chala said at the time that the forced labor transfer does not exist, maintaining that local government was focused on providing job training. In May, Wu Yingli, the party chief in Tibet, lauded the progress in Beijing was made developing the region, saying that religion has been increasingly compatible with a socialist society. The timing of his visit seemed designed to de-emphasize China's original promise of autonomy and freedom to Tibetans and instead to emphasize to Tibetans that they owe everything to the Communist Party, said Barnett the Academy. This visit comes about 2 weeks after 10th Gyatso 14th Dalai Lama turned 86 choice of success to the spiritual leader of the Tibetans who now lives in exile in India is shaping up to a struggle between India and the US on one hand and China on the other. Senior security officials in India, including the Prime Minister office, have been involved in discussions about how New Delhi can influence the choice of the next Dalai Lama. Bloomberg News reported in April, China's foreign ministry has said that the reincarnation of the Dalai Lama is an internal affair that allows no interference. Tenzing Lesing, a spokesman for the Tibet government in exile in northern India, said in a tweet late Thursday that Xi should understand the true aspiration of Tibetan people and resume the dialogue to resolve the Sino-Tibetan conflict. Thank you.